All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Another video here for you. This one here, I'm looking at competition. Playoff competition, what all-time greats did when they played the best teams. Overall, I'm not getting into specific round or anything like that. Just look at it overall, okay? Top to bottom. Well, I kind of omitted Russell, Chamberlain, Robertson, and even Kareem from this particular video only because those guys played with not as many teams, and you couldn't really get a good gauge of how many top 5 teams they were playing. And when I say top 5, I mean the net rating. Like, you look at Basketball Reference. This is totally fact checkable. You look at Basketball Reference, any team, any season, it'll tell you what their offensive rating was, their defensive rating was, and their overall net rating was. I'm specifically talking about the net rating. So, let me get right into it. So, for example, Magic Johnson, in 39 playoff series, 16 of those were against top 5 net rated teams for a 41% clip. He was 10-6 against these 16 teams that he played. Not bad. 41%'s a little low, but I think people realize that, the Lakers didn't play a ton of great teams, especially in the Western Conference playoffs in the 80s. Larry Bird played 14 of 32 for 43.75%. Playing a little better teams. He was 8-6 versus the top 5 net rated teams. Not bad, whatever. Akeem Olajuwon, in his 29 playoff series, 15 of them were against top 5, so he's playing more than half, 51.7%. And not surprisingly, he was 7-8 versus the top 5 rated teams. Now, many years Akeem just did not have a lot of help. He was outmatched, he was outmanned in many of his playoff series. So to be 7-8 is actually, I think, pretty impressive. Michael Jordan, in his 37 playoff series, played against 22 teams that were ranked in the top 5 for a 59.4%. He was 15-7 against those top 5 teams. You got to say that's the most impressive when you look at almost 60% of the time he's playing a team whose net rating is top 5. And he right out of the gate lost to the 85 Bucks, the 86 Celtics, the 87 Celtics, I believe the 88 Pistons, the 89 Pistons. He was losing to those teams because he, didn't have anything yet. His team wasn't even 500 until 88. Now, they did beat the number 1 rated Cleveland Cavaliers in 1988. Beat them straight up, best of 5. That was in 89. Sorry. Shaq, in his 44 series, he played 22 teams that were rated top 5 for a 50% clip. That's pretty good. He was also 15-7. Now, most of that was when he had Kobe. They were winning a lot, beating a lot of those teams like Sacramento and San Antonio and so on and so forth when Shaq and Kobe were together. So, not taking anything away from him. He still played 50% of his teams in the playoffs were top 5 rating. But I'm just saying. And Kobe, 24 of his 43 for 55.81%. Because he actually had a little bit of his career that he didn't have as good a team as Shaq did. Shaq had a good team basically every year of his career. And Kobe was 15-9 against the top 5 rated teams. That's a good record. Tim Duncan surprised me. He was only 17 of 48 for 35.4%. He wasn't playing as good. And only 8-9 versus the top 5. It's like, so yeah, Tim Duncan surprised me. Out of his 48 series, only 17 were against top 5 net rated teams. Maybe partially explains how he won 5 championships, because his competition wasn't that stiff. And of those 17 teams, he was 8-9. 8 and 9. That's it. You compare him to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, in 11 less series, played 5 more teams that were net rated in the top 5. Last but not least, LeBron James. Of his 53 playoff series, only 18 were top 5 net rated teams, for a percentage of 33.9, so about a third. And of those 18 teams, he was 9 and 9. That's what he was. Now, if you wanted to go a little farther, Michael Jordan, in 37 playoff series, 12 of them, about a third, were top 3 rated teams. And again, he lost like his first 4 that he played against these teams. 85 Bucks, I think they were rated number 2. They were rated number 2. 86 Celtics, 87 Celtics, 88 Pistons, 89 Pistons. He lost basically all those games. But Michael Jordan was 6 and 6 against top 3 rated teams. I mean, that is phenomenal when you think about it. LeBron James, in 53 series, only played 12 top 5 rated teams. And that's less than a quarter of the time. Less. Michael Jordan was playing over a third, and he's over here playing, or just under a third, whatever. He's over here playing like 21% of his teams were top 3, his opponents. He was 4 and 8 against the top 3. And yeah, he lost some early on or whatever, but you know, he had a squad from basically 2009 on. He only had 5 years where his team wasn't great, because from 09 they either won 60 games or he had a super team from basically 09 through 18, 10 years worth. 1 year of 2019, okay, he had a bunch of young players, he was injured, sure, give him a pass. He didn't make the playoffs, so that doesn't even factor in anyway. With the last 5 seasons, he's had a borderline super team. When you figure Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and all the other players he had, maybe not specifically this year and last year, but pretty deep team he's got there. So just going off of the rankings of teams, you can see LeBron played the lowest amount percentage-wise of these all-time greats here. And he was 9 and 9 against top 5 rated teams in his whole career. That's it, 9 and 9. And Michael Jordan played more than he did in 16 less series and went 15 and 7. And you can say whatever you want, but I've already shown in other videos, please check them out, that Michael Jordan didn't have this unbelievable help that everybody keeps trying to claim. He had some competent help, absolutely. Defensively, mostly. Offensively, he had hit or miss Scottie Pippen and not much else his whole career. Maybe early on, actually, Orlando Woolridge might have been his best offensive teammate ever. Guy who never made an all-star team. And he only played with him for 1 full season. So, anyway, that's about it for this video. I just thought this was very interesting. Almost all the all-time greats, with the exception of Duncan and LeBron, were playing, 40, 50% of their playoff opponents were top 5 rated teams. LeBron, 33.9% of his top 5 rated teams. Michael Jordan, 59.4%, the highest on this list. So when people say Jordan didn't play anybody, going by rating, net rating, he was the one who played the best teams. 22 of his 37 series were against top 5 rated teams. How is that not the best? I mean, are we going by individual players now? Because I can show you a million examples how teams with top 75 players, all-stars or all-NBAs, whatever, got whooped on. I could show you that all day. So, anyway, that's it for this video, and until next time.